So you took a chance on being happy, even though you knew that later on you would be sad.
Yeah.
And now you're sad.
Yeah.
So what's the problem?
I'm too sad.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
Look, I like the feeling of being in love with her. I liked it. But now she's gone and I miss her and it sucks. And I didn't think it was going to be this bad. And I feel like, why even be happy if it's just going to lead to this? You know, it wasn't worth it.
Misery is wasted on the miserable.
What?
You know, I'm not entirely sure what your name is, but you are a classic idiot. You think spending time with her, kissing her, having fun with her, you think that's what it was all about? That was love?
Yeah.
This is love, missing her because she's gone, wanting to die. You're so lucky. You're like a walking poem. Would you rather be some kind of a fantasy, some kind of a Disney ride? Is that what you want? Don't you see, this is the good part. This is what you've been digging for all this time. Now you finally have it in your hand, the sweet nugget of love. Sweet, sad love. And you want to throw it away. You've got it all wrong.
I thought this was the bad part.
No, the bad part is when you forget her, when you don't care about her, when you don't care about anything. The bad part is coming, so enjoy the heartbreak while you can, for God's sakes. Pick up the dog poop, would you please? Lucky son of a bitch, I haven't had my heart broken since Marilyn walked out on me since I was 35 years old. What I would give to have that feeling again.
Welcome.
Starting out with some new shit. No, hold on. Alright, anyway, that was some shit that I just tossed together. That's not what this was about. This thing is supposed to be about just ideas, basically. That's it. Coming up with different shit, trying to figure out what to do. That's what this thing is all about. As soon as I can pull up the other window, which I should have had open already, but I didn't because I'm a fool. Give me a second. I can get rid of that. And I think I stopped screen sharing. Yeah. Okay. Now I have everything set up to where it's supposed to be. Basically, I was thinking about different shit. Jen's working on a couple of different things right now. She's doing masks, obviously, because of the current situation that is happening. And I'm just kind of dicking around a little bit. Been editing something that I've been like, okay. It's a little bit too Bill Burrish, if we were going to be honest. It's a little heavy-handed, but it's what I'm currently working on. Not that it's coming out anytime soon, so you don't have to worry about it. Yeah, I don't retarded. Hold on, give me a second, man. I gotta put something else on because I have to decipher a message. Give me a fucking second. We're going back old school. If you heard this already, well, too fucking bad. You're about to hear it again. Because I'm not gonna play other people's shit on my channel and have them telling me what I can and can't fucking post. So You're gonna have to just hold your ass for a second while I do this. Very professional. This is the way that we do things. Maybe I should not have come on live, but whatever.
Page. That just make me wanna hollow a brother. We supposed to be leaders, but why y'all wanna follow each other? Why?
Swim so free.
I've heard 1,000 horror stories this week. So you want to come to me with your little bullshit story? Go fuck yourself, okay?
Shit. They say the early bird, he get the worm. Niggas fucking raw until they get the germ. Cypher till you realize that you smoking sherm. Lessons that these little niggas have to learn.
Rip. Shut up. All right, whatever. I did it. It didn't take that long. I did it. It's over with. Now I can get back to originally what I was talking about. Jen is making masks and shit, which is obvious because of the current situation. I've been fucking around in here trying to make stuff, but as you know, I break it down every time I come in here. I go over what's already done, what's happening. That's basically what we're going to do right now. Since I've already built in a network and I'm coming to you also with an idea of my own, which is basically, we'll get into that in a second. But for anybody that happens to be new around here, if you don't know what is happening right now, who I even am, that's all right. Don't worry about it. This is my podcast. This is what I do, what I work on all week that comes out every Saturday. You can find it on iTunes, Castbox, Breaker, whatever, wherever you listen to your shit, chances are we're there. So go load that up, follow this shit, subscribe to it, whatever. If you love it, hate it, doesn't matter. You're indifferent, you don't care. This is what it is. Okay, you have your regularly scheduled programming as follows. On the 9th, you're getting a disabled draft, which I have to touch up on because that's another thing that I've been doing is when I come on live, I touch up on whatever subject it is I'm going to be talking about on the podcast. That seems to be the shit of what we're doing here, dude. So work with me. Okay, we'll go all the way to July 4th. Skipping from right now. Whatever month we are in, we're May 6th right now. From May 6th to July 4th, there are podcasts that are up and ready to go. But I also wanted to show you something else that you're never supposed to do, but I'm doing it. Apparently, I have an average of 3 listeners, which I don't listen to that. And we're over 1,200, just barely, hits on the podcast platform, which is a great thing. But I've thought about putting a different show together other than and alongside of the one that I currently do right now, which is every Saturday Laughing at Birds podcast. This one would be a little bit different. I don't know how I would do it, how often I would do it, if it would be a weekly thing, a spur of the moment, whatever, I don't know. But I thought it's pretty stupid to it's good to know how to make videos and edit them and be able to beat the copyright system enough to where they will claim your video but not take it down. Those are smart things to learn, but I'm not in the part of the industry that is making videos for clicks and getting people to watch that way, right? Like that's not, there's people that know how to do those things and do them well. Deep fakes, all kind of crazy shit out on the internet. So there is an avenue for that, but that's not what I'm selling on my street, dude. I'm basically just bullshitting around, which a lot of what is on the YouTube channel, if you've ever been where you currently should be right now, is, reaction videos which are cool, I guess. It's really cornball shit, though. Let's be honest. Don't lie to yourself. You know that it is as well as I do. I'm not shitting anybody that does it, but well, you know what? I guess I am. I guess I am going to. We're gonna divert for a moment, which I off of the recommendations, which is the one thing that makes the reaction videos cool, is that you all can say, yo, you know what you should do? You should check out this band and this song. I've done that. Like, use the example. Black Sabbath. What the fuck? Sweet Leaf. I was just listening to that on my phone. I think it's no, now it's playing Jaded Kiss right now. But what the fuck? Black Sabbath Sweet Leaf. I would listen to, right? I listen to it. I enjoy it. I don't listen to it every single day. I don't even listen to it every time it comes on the radio without skipping it, but I do listen, right? Already you're going to get killed for that, but that's the lame part of the videos in general and or reactions that you got to move past. Everybody's always going to want your blood. Always. That's just a fact. This is the way that we operate, apparently, out in these woods. This is how it happens. Move past that shit, too. I happen to be recommended by YouTube Las in Vegas. Uh-huh. Anyway, what I was saying was I'm juggling two conversations and inner dialogue and a fucking monologue in my head all at the same time, so they had to work with me here. I got recommended Lost in Vegas. They listened to Sweet Leaf, right? So I thought this should be interesting to see what two dudes that don't, from the videos I've seen of them, they don't really fuck around heavy with rock music. Maybe they do. I'm not their biggest fucking fan, bro. I'm making blanket statements based off of what I've seen. I don't know what makes people think that because I can talk into a microphone and look straight into a camera that means that like I consume content differently than you do. Some I will see some shit, I have initial thoughts to it in my head, and then the third step, which you don't do, is go then to that microphone and camera I mentioned 2 seconds ago and tell your thoughts to that. People think like I'm supposed to have some kind of evolved thinking. Like I don't get it. Can't just be a fucking person, but not don't get derailed again. What it is about this video, I watched it and they said that they liked the song. I'm not saying they don't. I'm not saying that they were faking it, but there's a big difference between seeing somebody actually like a song because they are enjoying it and saying that you like a song because you don't want to get fucking killed by the comment section. Maybe you're not in love with it. Maybe it's not the greatest thing that you've ever heard in your life. You're not going to go to war over it, but you're not going to throw it a party either. Like, that kind of bugs me. I don't like doing shit like that, which everybody has their own way of doing things. I'm no better than anybody else. That's not what I'm trying to say. Just watching their video on Sweetleaf made it come off like that. Like they really didn't like the song that much, but they had to say that they liked it because they didn't want to get killed by the fucking fans. Which I'm not even saying that they don't enjoy it. My point is that like they can look at that song and they can say overall I can appreciate that it exists, but I'm not ever going to listen to that on my own. You can't say that though, because you either have to be 100% for something or against it, which is fucking stupid. And nobody thinks like that. So I don't understand why the internet seems to think that like that's the way then things are going to happen. I don't know who raised these people, where do they come from, what parts of America and other countries, what rocks do they live under? I don't know. I probably said that already. And that's not the way it happens. You should be able to go like I don't hate this, but I'm not going out of my way to enjoy it either and still be appreciated just for the fact that you're speaking your opinion, but that's not realistic. And what are we talking about here? I don't know. The whole point, I guess, is I bring that up to say that it makes me think, I don't know. Fuck me, dude. This is skill right here. This is skill trying to time out these conversations the way that I'm doing them. And it's not by choice. This is just the way I had to learn to operate my life. But it going through that video and watching it made me put my own content into perspective. Like, okay, I'm getting killed on the regular and I don't really care. I realize I have to draw a line in the sand, unfortunately. Here's what I'm saying to you, dude. Is some guy has been commenting on a video of mine for a year. 1 year, 12 months. Yeah, you too, bro. Appreciate it. This dude has been commenting on my fucking video for a month about how I don't like a band and he is in love with them. So I made some wild video basically giving the dude a half hour of me just making fun of the band and giving him jerk off material for a couple of months is basically what I did. Right? But I realized doing that, and I'll circle back around to Lost in Vegas in a second. This is all going to connect in the end, I promise you. I realized that I have to draw a line in the sand and decide when I put something out, even if it is a bit per se, because of the tone of my channel, that's going to reflect everything else that I do. And when I put a video out and I sit with it for a while, and I'm like, all right, that was fun to make, but there really doesn't have any shelf life to it. Like if I came across that video on somebody's channel, I wouldn't watch that and go, all right, let me see what else this dude has going on here. So I inherently just shit on this dude for a half hour, posted it, and then just took it down. Because that's not what I want the tone of this channel to fucking be. I got no problem with taking the gloves off and slapping around some fucking sissy who thinks that they know it all because they're a fan of some music genre or some asshole that has depressed feelings, likes to wear eyeliner and whine about drug addiction and music as if he's the only motherfucking person that has ever been harmed. It's only me. Poor me, cry for me. I'm addicted to fucking heroin, but don't ask me about the cancer patients that I robbed for their fucking medicine or stealing people's checkbooks or fucking breaking into people's cars and houses to get money to buy those drugs that I'm on because I'm fucking depressed. Don't ask me about that shit. You know, hypocritical fucking assholes. Circling all the way back around, I don't want to be that person all the time, right? But I still do want to maintain and walk the tightrope that is being honest about what I think and being able to talk about some shit that I enjoy. Like I have the podcast that I can do it the way I've been doing it, which is pretty much anything that I want to talk about or maybe an idea that I want to work through, I use the podcast. With this one, I could do the same thing I'm doing on YouTube, transfer it from YouTube to a podcast platform where I can, because of Anchor, I can work through Anchor and use things like Spotify to talk about artists and or music and not have to get a fucking copyright strike or get my channel pulled down. I'm just not going, and I don't know if you would be able to or not, but I would imagine you wouldn't monetize off of that channel. If I could do the same thing in a podcast platform. So the only thing that would be different is you won't be seeing my ugly mug. You're not seeing my mug right now if you're listening to this. Why is that? It's because everybody is home. We're still on another 30 days of lockdown, right? So people are going crazy. Internet porn, things are happening. And if I turn the camera on, it's going to bring everything down to a screeching halt. So I turn the camera off. But usually when I put out the podcast, I don't put a video anyway because it's more work and I throw in dumb shit into the audio. So if you haven't checked it out, you should.
What are you doing? Stop. Kevin.
What?
She pooted.
Why? What the fuck?
No, she got excited because I gave her new food.
Oh,
She
god
did a little
damn it.
foodie dance.
Well,
That's alright, Sora.
wait, this is real life, dude. What do you want from me? You know what? People are like, oh, it's just so amazing that we get to see inside the lives of these celebrities and people that we see on television. It's the same. Dog shitting on floors. You got to juggle 3 conversations plus the shit that you're talking about and try to maintain your train of thought at the same time. This is what it is. This is real life. This is real life shit. I'm not going to apologize for it. Thankfully, I'm not one of those people that has to have everything just perfect. Like there's not a red light bulb outside.
This is silver.
There's not a red light bulb outside this door that when I shut it, the light goes on and we're live to the nation and everybody's got to be quiet and absolutely nothing can go wrong or this is going to be a terrible disaster.
When the door is shut, that's when I know.
Yeah. Well, you still do come in anyway, though, sometimes. But I only shut the door to keep out the maximum amount of noise and so that I can stay to what the fuck I'm doing. Which, getting back to the point was, I can do the same shit I'm doing on YouTube on the podcast platform. There would be no video, but it would still be the same. It would still be the same shit. Now, I don't know if that is something that is interesting. I don't know. Because, look, clearly the numbers speak for themselves. Right? Like, you want to... Let's go real fast. Why not? What are we doing? Right? We're just sitting here. Why don't we just go through the whole thing? All right, well, I'm going to. Now, look, I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you the numbers here. And you can take away from this whatever you want. These are all my garbage videos from before. But look at that. First one, Slaves and Bulldozers, 1,200 hits. Then it drops down to 150, 22. And it keeps jumping back and forth, but it's always like 100 at least. So there's something to be said about the music. People are showing up, though, under the impression like only 320 people showed up here. Why only 320 here, but you got 1,200 there? Well, I mean, I actually like some of Ginger's music. That's part of it. But I trashed the shit out of this band. People don't like that. They want to come on and watch you blow the artist that they love. They don't want to actual somebody's first experience ever hearing something that they enjoy and find out that they don't also love it. Some people don't like that. But the numbers are there for content like this. It's just a matter of what do you plan on doing, though? I get the roadmap, but not the content itself. Well, basically, I was going to maybe pick an artist, go over. See, I don't. That's the problem. My initial thought was like I could take shit that I like and I could go over it, but then again, I don't want to just sit here and play a DJ either. That's what has held me back from doing this. The whole reason why I switched to a podcast was to be able to have a more unique thing going on here rather than just be the fucking reaction guy that nobody, whatever. I'm gonna pull the string, dude. So I guess the content would be maybe talking about artists, covering albums, comparing old shit to new shit, basically just a conversation about music where I could, in theory, use parts of a song and or album and be able to talk about it and not have to worry about repercussions of getting it taken down. I just don't know. Because like I'm just giving you the skeleton. Now that I'm saying it out loud though, it doesn't sound like that as great of an idea as it seemed like it would have been on paper. So I don't know. Fuck, man. I mean, I do have my hands full with the podcast that I do now. I mean, at the moment, like I told you, we're already scheduled out to July 4th, and I'm currently working on a heavy one right now. But that's also the reason. I don't know. I don't want to get into anything permanent though. You know what I mean? Like I already have my one commitment. Like I have to get this show out by Saturday. I don't want to create another deadline for myself and worry about, well, like what if I don't have something from week to week? So, or if I don't feel like talking about music. See, I don't know. Damn. Well, this is why we do shit like this. Even if it is just to try to work around ideas. Because, I mean, dude, it's raining. We got 30 more days in the fucking house. My governor just came on. Maybe where you live is different. But we got 30 more days before everybody can leave. But you did say that you need some time away from editing too. You need another outlet. Well, yeah, that was the whole process. Like maybe whatever I do, another thing would just have to go out however it is. Like I'm not gonna edit it. I'm just gonna go on and do whatever it is that I'm gonna do, and then it just goes out, and that's it. It's never thought of again. Because I put a lot of time and energy into editing the one that I currently have. And I know it's like, well, dude, there are only, you know, clips or sound effects or whatever. How hard could it be? But the shit doesn't make itself, man. You can say whatever you want about how hacky or stupid what I do is, but I mean, it's something that takes time to do. It was different before when I was just recording videos on YouTube and I was throwing them up. I was doing no editing at all whatsoever. It was just rapid fire out shit for people to see, one into another, 4 clips at a time. This one is I'll limit myself to an hour and a half and then work that down usually to an hour on whatever it is I'm talking about, cut my shit in, and there it is. Which that's really condensed, but that's basically what it is. And I've had the problem that I have now is a problem that I had actually with. But this is a good place for this conversation to go anyway, because I don't want to. I don't want to just sit here on an idea and get frustrated at the fact that I can't do anything with it. So this would be good to go back on and plan with. But I've had the problem that I have now with an episode that I did in the past, which is the one that's going to be coming up on this Saturday, which is the disabled draft, which is about BIID, which is people that are born not handicapped. They're born with, from what I can tell, no physical issues in standard cases. I'm sure that there are variations of this, right? But these people, because they're fucking mentally ill, and I know I'm a phobic for even saying that. How dare I say somebody have a fucking mental illness in a country where all we do is talk about depression and mental illness, and there's a fucking pharmaceutical on the television and the radio every 5 fucking seconds in this country. Don't you dare accuse somebody of being mentally fucking ill. But these people, in my opinion, they are ill, because I'm a handicapped person, and I don't understand. It's psychotic to me that there's somebody that is walking around with a fresh pair of legs and says to themselves, I don't feel quite right. I need half of this leg to come off. And not only do I need it to come off, but I'm willing to pay somebody millions of dollars to cut it off of me, because I feel like I should have been born disabled, but I wasn't. And I need to fulfill that feeling. I have to do it. We should treat this shit the way pedophiles should be treated, which is you have some illness going on in your mind. For some reason, you want to fuck kids, or for some reason, you want to cut your fucking leg off. That's not normal. Like, what is normal is different for everybody. But it is beyond the standard of thinking that you should have thoughts like that. We need to fix this. That's what I think. But I'm not saying I'm not sitting here trying to pretend that I have all my fucking ducks in a row. All my faculties are in order, because they're not. I have my own illnesses, sicknesses. But I mean, that I think also gives me a unique perspective. The average person doesn't have anything wrong with them, so they can look at a person like that and they can go, oh, that person is ill, or I feel sorry for you. So I will say that I sympathize with you in your time of need. I understand what you're saying, that you want to cut something off to feel normal. I know what it's like to want to feel normal. I don't feel normal all the time. That must be terrible. So they surround themselves with other people who are quote unquote normal, that just, everybody has one friend that something's a little bit wrong with them. For a lot of people, I am that person. For you, maybe somebody else, or it could be me too. I'm not running as an elected official, or an electable official rather, but I'm not saying I'm going to shoot you for putting my name on the ballot either. So, I can see if you're around somebody long enough, you can just be like, yeah, that's my fucking friend. That's my friend Ted over there, who thinks that he should have 1.5 legs. We don't know why. He says wild shit at parties. Right? But for me, when I look at somebody like that, I'm like, dude, all I want to do is be you right now. Like, you don't have any problems at all. You don't deserve to live, dude. What are you doing? And I know that's not rational either. But that's how I know these people are fucking sick. There's something wrong with them. And it took me, I want to say, it took me 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks to edit this whole podcast together because I didn't even want to go over it. I didn't want to have the conversation while it was happening. I didn't want to edit it. I didn't want to fucking even think about it. Like, those people really bugged me out, man. Not into it at all. But I eventually finished it and did what I had to do. This week, why I bring this up is because I'm editing something else that has me kind of in the same headspace, except it's way different. And this is a cancelable offense, but it is what it is. So I'm about to say this, and if you leave, you leave. If you stay, you stay. But it is what it is, man. I think that people that are demanding minutes. Okay, it didn't cut off for you. Sorry, my internet cut out. Did it cut for you? I think it did. Yeah, it did. Okay. Sorry. That's gonna happen, dude. I told you. High traffic. The point is this. People then bitch about this type of thing. That shit bothers me because there's real issues out in the world. And I'm sure the big disclaimer on all this is I'm sure that there are people who may feel this type of way and maybe it's actually legitimate. Most of the time, though, I think it's just fucking people crying for attention. That's all it is. And I rambled on about that for a while. That's what I did. That's what it's about. It's not nice. It is what it is. It's some shit that after I said it, I sat and listened to it and I sat with it and I was like, man, that is really brutal. You're talking a lot of heavy shit right now. That's going to make a lot of people uncomfortable. Do you really want to add this into things that you want on your fucking channel? And I thought about it. I was like, you know what, though, dude? I do because I really do. Even if it is wrong, if you think it is wrong, I really do feel like for you to be able to complain about something like that is a goddamn luxury. In your life, it is a luxury. If your biggest problem is somebody looks at your dick and calls it a dick and you get offended by that, you live a luxurious life. And you don't know what a real fucking problem looks like. I bet if we asked you when the last time was that you were late paying your rent, you wouldn't have an answer. Or when the last time you missed a meal was, you wouldn't have an answer. Or how are you going to make your car payment or whatever the fuck it is, whatever bills that you have, everything around you is already taken care of. You don't have any real issues. So that's my opinion on it, and it put me in a fucked up place because on one hand I had Doug's voice in the back of my head going, dude, not everything is for everybody. Not everything you think needs to be put out into the world as a podcast episode. Some shit is some thoughts are just things that should remain with your inside voice, right? The inside your head voice, you leave that alone. You can't always share those thoughts with other people. But I did. And I didn't even, it started in a completely different area. I was mad about some other shit completely. And then through complaining about people being shitty. That's what brought me there. That's what brought me there. Is people. I want you to know, if you're one of those people and you're gonna get mad at what I'm saying to you, I want you to know it's because of your shitty attitude that brought me there. When I think about somebody struggling with that, I picture, and I'm not limiting this just to white people, but I picture a fucking young, white, spoiled asshole is what I picture when I think about that scenario in my head. And don't say that because it triggers me and I need a whistle and a safe space. We don't have time for safe spaces around here, dude. We don't have the luxury. If I, dude, the meltdowns that I brush off, the meltdowns that I brush off as if nothing is happening, would send you into a fucking suicidal spiral, the likes of which John Elway would not be able to put together. Believe me when I tell you, dude. And there are people that have it way worse than me. People out there have it way worse than I do. So I'm not even I'm not coming to you leaning on a cross right now. I'm just telling you, in the realm of problems to have, like, you live a luxurious life, dude. So you should just shut the fuck up. You should just shut the fuck up. Honestly. Of all the things, if you want to complain about that, you get to the back of the line, bitch. We got cancer in front of you, herpes, fucking AIDS, the clap, there's a number of things that are coming before that. There's still racism happening. There's a lot of shit. There's a lot of shit that comes before that. And who do you think that you are, showing up to the party late as fuck? You're somebody's you know what? You are, this group of people is the transgenders plus one to this fucking party that is our society. I got news for you, bro. Everybody coming up had to fucking pay the toll to get the fuck in, dude. Everybody that you see sitting here or around you right now had to go to the toll booth and get shot up like the guy in the fucking Godfather did. Every one of us. The Italians and the fucking Irish fought in wars. Everybody knows black people have been fucked and continue to get fucked in this country even today. Okay, gay people, the same thing. They've been through some serious shit, right? So you can't now, on the heels of all that, where now transgender people come out and they say, well, we feel like we are human beings too, and we deserve to have rights. And people looked at that and they said, well, then you're going underneath the gay umbrella, and you all can make a community amongst yourselves, and you can police it out that way. We'll give you your holiday. Nobody should have the right to assault you in the street and get away with it, right? So, like, you're human beings, whatever. You can't then show up as a plus one. You're on their invitation and you're out in the fucking streets demanding that people speak to you in a certain way just because. I'm sorry, what the fuck did you contribute to this party? I didn't see you bringing hot dog buns. You didn't have no soda. You didn't bring no propane for the grill, dude. What exactly are you contributing to this situation? I mean, need to listen to your fucking mouth right now, dude. I don't know. There's a lot of that. And I got it out. And I even switched gears. And made it so that, because I'm backtracking. I'm all over the place. And I'm gonna make this a quick one because we're in and out today. But after I made that video, responded, this is all this comes together. The Blue October, I've been getting comments nonstop for like 2 weeks straight. Which these things happen. I will get a wave of bad ones, a couple good ones, another wave of bad ones, and then I'll go months with nothing. It's kind of strange. how it happens. It's almost like the aliens are returning my signal. But the Blue October kid, I made that video. I felt shitty about making that video, so I came in here and I tried to do something that was fun and just jerked off and stupid. And then wound up fucking making an asshole out of myself for an hour. And I was like, all right, fuck it. I'm not going to put it on YouTube. I'll keep it as a podcast. Now, in my back pocket, not realizing I had made this podcast I'm currently editing right now with that, all that shit I just mentioned in it, cut out the first half of it. And I could take the second video to make everything lightened up and fuse that into this to make it a full episode. So that's where you get the whole I know I'm in a lot of places right now, but if you're following me, I basically traveled with a mood swing all the way through content and the whole deal to come back around to realize when I started that if I'm going to say some shit, I don't want to just be somebody that you're going to poke your head into my channel, look around at what's going on, and me just come off like an angry douchebag for no reason with nothing to bring to the table. That's not what I want. Having that reaction from people is going to be impossible to avoid. I was talking about first impressions today with a friend of mine, right? You can never, he was talking about joy, like you can never relive the joy you initially have from the first time that you ever do something. And you don't. You can never compare that moment, but that's what makes it so great, right? But we're not always going to be able to stop people from coming in at the wrong time in the wrong part of the town, hearing me say some wild shit, and then going, well, fuck this dude. If he's like that all the time, I don't want nothing to do with it. If you dig around, you're going to see that like a living, breathing human being, this YouTube channel, and by extension, the podcast platform, is a living, breathing entity, which I breathe life into every time I add something to it. And it's not always going to be fucking pretty. It's not always going to be funny, but it's not always going to be angry and shitty either. But you have to understand, creating content is like building a fucking extra wing onto your house is what content building is. Because I'm building another section of my life and I'm adding on to it. The difference being I'm taking situations from my real life and fuck, I had it and I lost it. I had it. I don't want to say categorizing them, but basically I'm cutting it into fragments and I'm using it to build this shit out. So that's what it is. You're going to have to excuse the ignorance from time to time. Just like you, I have good days and bad days, and I'm not going to apologize for that. I am going to try to be more mindful of what I do, but I'll say this now, and 2 days from now, I could be up here tearing somebody to pieces like I will do on Saturday. So, it's just what it is. I know it doesn't pay, to be honest, in 2020. People don't want honesty. People want to be lied to. They want to be bullshitted. They want to be swindled out of their money, their pride, sometimes even their morality. And after all of that, they want plausible deniability. They want to look at you and say, hey, you tricked me, rather than admit to themselves and to the rest of us that they really want to go on that ride with you. They want to be beat up a little. They want the journey, but they're not comfortable with living it. They need somebody to point at and say, this is your fault. I didn't want to come here, but you brought me here. They don't want to accept responsibility for it. I don't even know if what I'm saying makes any sense. It probably doesn't. But I would think that you kind of get what I'm saying. I know what the greater point of it all is, dude. They want the honest opinion. They do and they don't. They want it because they don't want you to lie to them, but lie to me because it feels better. I know you don't think I'm hot, but just tell me I'm hot because it feels good. Do that. That's basically what they're doing. Sometimes you can't do that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you exactly what I think. And while it doesn't pay, to be honest, in 2020, neither does being a fucking fraud. What does that get you? It gets you an audience that is gone the second they realize that you're not who you said they were. Because you have to walk. Entertainment is the fine line between stealing and accepting. Is a fine line between stealing and accepting, because you have to steal their attention from them repeatedly before they willingly give it to you. But you can't allow them to realize right away that they're doing it, because then they feel like they have the power to build you up or take you down whenever they fucking want, even if it is unjustified or even if it is justified. There is no anger period. There's just, we're total war and you should cease to exist because I don't like you in this moment and you're the best. Love me. That's all that there is. It's completely fucked. But I'm going to remain in the middle as long as I can. I can make fake content. Sure I could. I can come on here and I can kiss everybody's ass in a general way. And you know what happened? People would treat it like it was okay at first, and then they would get bored and they would leave. You either have to go all the way in or nobody's going to respect you. That's basically what it comes down to. Because if you fight your way up to the fucking top, people can look at you when you're on the bottom and watch you do that and say, I respect that. He did and said what he thought, even when it wasn't popular to do that, versus trying to blend in with the rest of the fucking crowd and hope eventually your longevity will turn into something that is successful. Fuck that shit, dude. Life is too short, especially now, in the day and age that we live in, dude. I don't know. I'm not going to sit here and give you a whole political speech about this virus or a vaccine or microchips or Bill Gates. I don't know what's true or what's not true. Here are the facts, motherfuckers, that when I go to walk out my door from now on, I got a pair of gloves in my pocket and a mask on my fucking face for as long as I deem fit. And I don't care who thinks I'm crazy for it. I'm going to do it. And that's the way I'm going to live my life from now on. Because for too long, we knew about shit like this. And look, the last thing I want to address, I know I'm all over the place. I apologize. This is a lot like, I guess, what the podcast is, except sometimes a lot more happier. That's probably not a word, but this is what it is. It's a bunch of random thoughts that when I do the podcast, I'm speaking to you. I know right now in this moment, you're here, but understanding when I record the podcast, I'm talking to you. You just can't hear me yet. I'm yelling to you from the other side of the tunnel. You have to wait for the sound to bounce to your ear every Saturday to hear it. Fuck, man. I went too far out. Damn it. Something with the virus is going to bring up. Look, dude, life is too short, right? We don't know what's going to happen. So why am I gonna? I'm sure at this, even as I reflect now, a year and a half, we're doing this now, straight, solid, a year and a half. I was listening to a couple of dudes that I've added into my rotation of shit to listen to until they give me a reason otherwise. And if I have one in any point in the future, I'll make sure I address it here. But let me pull them up. On to the next project. I've been listening to these dudes because they just started a YouTube channel. Apparently, these guys have different ventures in other places, whatever. You can find their story if you go look it up. But, these dudes are saying like 3 years is around the time when you should actually start to see your work to pay off. Look, I'm a year and a half in at this point. I can look back at a number of videos and I can point to them and I can go, I wish that didn't exist. A bunch of them. If you gave me enough time, I could give you a legitimate, valid reason in my mind as to why this YouTube channel or podcast should be deleted one video and or episode at a time. If you gave me enough time, I could convince you of reasons why they should be taken down. But you know what? We're going to grow as a whole fucking community, man. I don't know how my thoughts are going to change over time. But it's going to be interesting to see documenting what it is that I think or how my opinion shifts over time. And I'm not focusing on numbers. I know we already covered all this shit. If you haven't listened to any of the lives that I've done in the past, you really should, because they're the start of the podcast before the podcast. When I was just sitting upstairs in my house with a pair of headphones that I borrowed from like my fucking 13-year-old nephew that had a microphone built in them, and I just started an open-ended conversation in a room by myself just because I could. You should go check out some of those. I can't promise you're gonna love everything, but I mean, whatever. Point is, this is like a good time capsule, dude. This channel is this content, ideas, all this shit. I could say something I completely disagree with today, tomorrow. Who knows? And maybe all this is a bad idea. If I could take back one thing, it would be putting my face on camera. But because I've already been arrested and that part of my anonymity is over, I figure fuck it. But if I could go back again, so far, right now, a year and a half in, Facebook is a regret. And camera on, I should have hid my face and just used my voice. That would have been a better move. But it's done. Nothing I can do about it now. This is where we are. And I don't understand how any of these fucking things connect together. But apparently, this is shit that I had on my mind, right? I wanted to plug the upcoming podcast, which is this Saturday, which was rough to get through, right? The whole coal mine dingling, something else. Those people are going to be pissed, but don't worry. You got all the way, you got from now till July to marinate on that. Don't you even worry about it. I'm sure by the time that shit comes out, everybody will be busy canceling something. By then, the fucking world should be back to normal. Oh, and my doctors will be coming up in a few days, so I get to see if they're gonna fuck me over or not. We get to do this again. So I don't know. I'm not going into the office. I can tell you that. If they tell me I have to go in, I'm not going. So I'll figure it out. But we'll worry about that when we get there. Look, I did it an hour. Real quick, in and out, stopping in, sharing some random thoughts of you. And that's it. It's 7:16 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, dude. Couple of days from now, you will have the podcast out. And that's that. Next time anything worthy happens, I will stop back on and let you know. Appreciate everybody stopping, hanging out. iTunes, Spotify, Anchor.fm for the podcast, at Laughing Birds on Twitter, at Laughing Birds Pod on Instagram.